Okay, today we're going to look at a very simple example of saving into a simple pension scheme, and we're going to show how we can run the two scenarios in parallel and then actually see how to compare two different pension schemes with two different fee structures. So open up the pension school. I'm going to set it up to be a simple one person in the model, which I'm going to call Freddie. I'm going to make Freddie employed, give him a job. I'm also going to select here, use long-term steady state data. What that will do is take out all the randomness, the stochastic randomness out of the model, so I can actually compare two scenarios and see which is the preferable one. So go ahead and set up. Now I can see here my standard costs. I can edit all of those. I'm just going to leave those in as the standard costs. I'm going to take out the fritter away item because that will spend any spare money I've got. So I don't want to do that in this case. For work, I'm going to make Freddie paid 30,000 a year. Select there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save what I've done. I'm going to put on a full save, and I'm going to call this Freddie fees 2. Save that. Now I can actually go back and load that again and run the same scenario in parallel. I'm also going to make sure Freddie's a young man, so I'm going to make him 21 years old by moving his date of birth forward to 1990. And yes, I do wish retirement dates for jobs to be updated, so select there and save that again. So now I can join a pension scheme and run forward to age 65 and see how much money will be in that pension scheme. So I'm going to right click on work, join defined contribution pension scheme there, set up a personal wrapper, set up a basic equity bond split, and here you can see I've got my equity bond split of 30% bonds, 70% equities. As we've seen before, I can change that just by selecting that, but I'm going to leave that the same for the time being. And the important thing I want to look at in this example is the annual management charge, which is 1.5% there, and a bid offer spread of 5%. That's a 5% fee on each contribution I make, but there's 0 in annual fees. So I select OK, and I'm going to use this DC scheme with regular contributions from my employer and me. Select the employer, which is work, and I'm going to use the very simple rule of thumb here that you contribute half your age. There's a lot of people quote that rule of thumb, and we'll see how useful that is by selecting here. So I'm going to put the employee rate at 6% and the employer rate at 4%. Select OK, and I can see that this work DC scheme has now been added to my asset pane there. I select on it, and I've got a cash flow, a bond fund, and a generic equity fund, and there's nothing in those yet. And I've also got added onto my cost pane the work defined benefit contribution, which is at £150 a month. So now what I'm going to do is allow this to, I'm going to save it again in fact, so I don't have to change much next time. And now I'm going to allow this to run forward, and I'm going to go up to age 65 and see how much pension I get. So you can see the pension fund developing here, about 30% in the bond fund and 70% in the equity fund. So that person here, I can see the fund going up in value. I've stopped there. I've allowed it to run to 66. So what I'll actually do now is just allow it to run forward to 67. There we are. So we're age exactly 67. We've got 844,437 in our fund. And I'm going to see what I can actually turn that into as a pension. So I'll select draw pension there. We'll take the 25% as a tax-free lump sum. We'll get a pension increasing with RPI. And so we've been left with a pension of 36,262. If I select that, do I wish to terminate contributions? Yes. And I can see now if I display as income, I've got my annuity there. Now I said it was 36,262, but this is actually netting off the tax. So assuming I'm staying at work, having drawn my pension, so I'm going to leave that job there. You're now actively seeking work? No. And I can see now I've got 30,505, which is my net income from that annuity. So what I'm going to do now is run that scenario again with lower fees. So I close that down, open up the Pension School again, go into Freddie Fees 2, and now go back into this. In fact, I need to go back into the Work DC pension scheme there, decide investment strategy, and I can see now I've got these choices again here of how much the fees are going to be. So I'm going to select the fees which are typical for the Nest scheme, so 0.3% management charge and 1.8% bid offer spread. Select OK there, and now I can just run exactly the same thing again and run up to the age of 67 and see how much is in the fund this time. You see the model just speeds up as we go through it, and we'll soon reach age 67. So he was born on the 1st of July, so I'm just going to step that forward to July. 65, one more year. And we can see this time the Work DC fund is 1.176 million. So that's a considerable improvement on the 844,000 we had last time with the higher rate of fees. So again, I'm going to leave this pension scheme, draw the pension, again take 25%, annuity increasing with RPI. And we see we've got this time we've got a pension of £50,505 compared to our pension of 36,000 last time. So select go ahead and take that, and yes, I do wish to terminate contributions. We're going to display as income. Again, I can see it's only 25,000 because it's all been hit by a lot of tax there. So if I leave the job, then you can see my annuity, my actual take-home pay from this pension scheme is 40,293, whereas last time it was just 30,500. So I'm a whole third better off by taking out a low fee pension scheme than I am by taking out a high fee pension scheme. That's how important fees are in your pension scheme.